Mr. Kwagoswali, breaking down to you the atrocities committed by Kayilingu terrorist assassin of the creed, ruthless brutal kill of our generation, Paul Kagame, in Rwanda, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Uganda. Please listen carefully to these atrocities, which the mainstream media has been deliberately shielding, mainly to clear the image of the two Kayilingu, Museveni and Kagame. Okay? These atrocities stem from reports by the United Nations, Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, journalists, Ugandans like Mr. Kwagoswali, and academics. Kayilingu, Pirato, Kagame, and the Rwandan junta regime constantly deny these facts, often attributing violence to other groups or framing actions as self-defense against threats like Hutu extremists, yet Hutus are the de facto victims of Kayilingu terrorist Kagame's atrocities. Okay? Kagame atrocities focus on mass killings, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and the potential genocide level acts, particularly targeting Hutu civilians. During the 1990 and the 1994 civil war and the 1994 genocide period, RPF forces under Kayilingu terrorist Kagame's command committed widespread reprisal killings and massacres of Hutu civilians, including systematic executions of community leaders, peasants, and other perceived as enemies. Okay? Estimates suggest tens of thousands killed by RPF troops before, during, and after the genocide against Hutus. Okay? Ethnic cleansing in northern and eastern Rwanda, with bodies dumped in rivers, River Kagera, flowing into Lake Victoria, and mass graves dug, later concealed. Can you imagine? Post-1994, the regime has embarked on abuses, unlawful killings, enforced disappearances, torture in detention, suppression of opposition, and assassinations of critics, including in exile like Patrick Karegeya. Okay? High-profile cases include flawed trials and intimidation. Some investigations prove that the RPF contributed to igniting the 1994 genocide through actions like assassinating President Habyarimana and infiltrating militias to escalate killings like that of Kajuga. Prosecutor Louis Abba investigated, and actually with Michael Hooligan, that investigator from Australia, they reached a conclusion that Kagame directly participated in putting down Habyarimana's plane using a missile that was bought from Russia by authorities from Kampala, which was launched from Masaka to Kanembe Airport by RPF and Ugandan authorities. These differ with the dominant narrative crediting the Kayilingu terrorist, assassin of the creed, ruthless brutal kill of our generation, Kagame Paul, with ending the genocide that killed around 800,000 Tutsi and moderate Hutus, when in actual sense it's Kagame who killed the people because of his greed for power in Rwanda from Uganda, where they attacked Rwanda from being backed up by the Bill Clinton, Medrin, Albright Kayilingu from United States of America. Okay? Atrocities by Kagame in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The most one is Rwandan military intervention from 1996 onward, often in alliance with Uganda initially. First and Second Congo Wars, 1996 to 2003. Rwandan Kayilingu forces under Kayilingu Kagame invaded the eastern DRC to pursue into militias in the disguise, okay, including so-called genocidaries from 1994, but accused of massacring tens to hundreds of thousands of Hutu refugees and Congolese civilians. Oh, my people. Methods included shootings, machetes, burning people alive, amputations, and locking victims in huts to burn them. UN reports the 2010 mapping exercise documented the systematic attacks on Hutu camps and the populations, suggesting such acts amounted to crimes against humanity and genocide. Estimates link these invasions with the Ugandan involvement to millions of deaths, up to 6 million from conflict and related causes between 1996 to 2007, making it the deadliest since World War II. Okay? Ongoing since 2021, Rwanda is backing the M23 rebel group to militia, which has committed summary executions, sexual violence, including mass rapes, forced recruitment, torture, looting, and forced displacement of over 2 million people. Oh God. Rwandan troops conspiring with their M23 militia captured cities like Goma and Bukavu in 2025, leading to extrajudicial killings, indiscriminate shearing, and attacks on civilians, displacement camps. Okay? You add the Kayilingu terrorist Kagame bragging around of how it controls Goma, and it can only leave Goma after His Excellency Tshisekedi adhering to his what? Concerns. UN experts and human rights groups hold Rwanda responsible due to effective control. Motivation is cited include the Kagame lies about security against groups like FDLR, but it all points to resource plunder and territorial control of mineral-rich areas. Atrocities of Kagame in Uganda. Direct atrocities by Kayilingu terrorist Kagame and his RPF inside Uganda are the worst of all. As Kagame spent much of his career there, fleeing Rwanda in the 1960s, serving in Kayilingu terrorist Museveni's army as intelligence chief at Basima House, as the second deputy of Kayilingu terrorist Mugisha Muntu, and launching the RPF invasion from Uganda in 1990. Kagame's RPF originated as part of Ugandan forces. Some abuses in northern eastern Uganda during the Museveni counter-insurgency involved the Rwandan Tutsi like Kagame, Rejema, Bayingana, Bunyanyezi, and others. Tensions exist like border issues, proxy support, and joint Rwanda-Uganda actions in DRC like plundering, killings, invasions, clashes between Uganda and Rwandan troops, Kisangani 1, Kisangani 2. Kagame forces used Uganda as a base for scorched earth campaigns before 1994. Okay? Western governments have often shielded Kagame due to his role in looting for them minerals in DRC and the mercenary soldiers' contribution to them through recent M23. Okay? However, developments have drawn criticism and cause for accountability, like a potential sanctions after Kagame obnobbing with Russia and China to undermine US goals in the Great Lakes region. Talk of the Russian energy company by Russia having dealings with the Kayilingu terrorist Kagame. Yet America's foreign policy these days is anchored on the fight against Russia, China, African dominance, and in the Middle East, as well as in the North, in America continent, okay, on the American continent. So, these two Kayilingu, Museveni and Kagame, had mastered the art and the science of image clearance. They would pay off actually international PR firm, okay, to clear their images before the international community and those international key players. They have committed a lot of atrocities at the watch of the United States of America, United Kingdom, and the European Union. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones that have been backing up these autocratic regimes for as long as they bolster their interests. And they have only started holding them accountable after these Kayilingu aligning with their opponents, the Russians, the Chinese, okay, who are a threat to the American goals within the Great Lakes region. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's high time we should highlight the atrocities of these Kayilingu to our fellow Kayilingu Tutsi Rwandanese who have been brainwashed, and this one in Uganda. My humble appeal, there will never be a tribe called Banyarwanda in Uganda. There will never be called a tribe called Banyamulenge in Congo. God bless.